Besides oil, Daqing also has vast tracts of fertile land. With low population and low pollution, it's an ideal place for the dairy industry.
大庆是世界3大奶牛饲养带之一，有着天然的这个牧草和这个气候，适合这个畜牧业，适合这个奶牛的生长。其次呢，大庆养殖奶牛的历史呢非常悠久，从1947年开始养牛，可以说是中国养殖荷斯坦最早的省份之一。第3点呢，大庆呢培养了一批，是吧？从事奶牛饲养业的技术人员和熟练的技术工人，说这些都是说在大庆从事这个畜牧业来讲呢，很好的一个地缘优势。
One of the dairy industry players in Daqing High-Tech Park is China Milk Products Group. China Milk is the largest producer of pedigree bull semen and dairy cow embryos in China. China Milk now runs 9 farms in Daqing, with a total herd of 8,700 pedigree cattle. The semen straws are then sold to major dairy companies to inseminate cows and thus to improve the size of their herd and milk production. With an improving living standard, the demand for dairy products has been increasing very fast in China. China Milk soon discovered they couldn't meet the demand. For further growth, China Milk needs more funds. Interestingly, China Milk, a company from a place where the temperature in winter can drop below -40 degrees Celsius, chose to list their shares in a tropical country, Singapore. Besides raising some 282 million RMB from its listing on the Singapore Exchange, China Milk CEO sees 3 key advantages to doing so.
我觉得对企业最大的帮助呢，能够引进一些好的管理思想和理念，引进一些优质的股东，加入到公司来，能改变公司这种股份制架构，这使公司能够能够有很好的发展。第2点就是说，让企业呢能够更快、更迅速的能够是发展起来，使企业这个平台呢更高一些。第3呢，就是扩大了企业的融资渠道，使企业的发展呢在融资方面呢没有什么障碍。我觉得这3点呢是很重要的。
Currently, there are 3 companies from Daqing listed in the Singapore Stock Exchange. Besides the access to the capital market, it is also a very good branding for local companies as well as local government. In this case, the city of Daqing. These few private companies that turn public companies has to abide by strict accounting standards. Only that way, they can establish credibility. Now, IPO is just a start. Okay, there are more ways to do fundraisings when they are listed. It could be a bonds, it could be issue more warrants, it could be issue more shares or rights. Now, this is very important for them for further growth.
Besides tapping the capital market, Daqing's enterprises also have the challenges needed to attract good talent. China Milk's CEO, Mr. Liu, knows that having the best cows is not good enough. He needs to hire the best brains so as to achieve the goals he has for the company. Martin Choi worked as an auditor in Hong Kong for 6 years. 2 years ago, he made a big career switch. He joined China Milk as its financial controller.
First of all, I reckon being in Daqing or in China, it gives me a lot of opportunities to develop my career. And also with the people in China, they are very desperate, and also they are very willing to learn new stuff, such as how to get closer with the international practice and then how to make themselves prosper. So this gives me a lot of opportunity to give them help, and then also to work with them, and then I think this will be really great for me for my future career development.
However, people like Choi still belong to the minority. The expatriate community, while small, is getting bigger, but Daqing hopes that it will grow. Besides working expatriates, the city also wants to attract more tourists. It believes that its beautiful scenery, spiced with donkeys of the oil industry, is something no other city can offer. Again, the local government is here to make the changes.
大庆还有呢，丰富的地热资源，我们想通过这些丰富的地热资源呢，打造温泉旅游，而且要建设北国江南，这个绿色温泉城， 所以呢，第三产业包括我们还有草原，还有这个工业旅游等等。那么大庆的第三产业呢发展呢，具有广阔的前景，也有丰富的资源，成为北国的水乡啊。
Daqing has benefited from its oil fields for the last half a century. For the next half a century and beyond, the city can't just rely on the oil industry alone. It needs other industries to carry it along. Daqing and the three northeast provinces are in a period of transition. The Rejuvenation campaign only began officially in 2003. For the former industrial powerhouse of China to regain its former glory, there's still some way to go. Proponents of the Northeast like to highlight the fact that the region owns a much bigger share in terms of resources and manufacturing muscle. 40% of China's oil and half of its timber can be found here. A quarter of the cars and half the ships are built in the factories of this region. The people of the Northeast feel that with their existing assets, they can hold their own against the southern cities. The businesses of the South are booming right now, but at the end of the day, they need to realise that they still need the resources of the North. The southern coastal cities are already running ahead, fast. What the Northeast must do, and very quickly, is to make full use of its existing resources to stimulate the growth of its economy. However, the leaders of the Northeast also know that it cannot just blindly follow what the South is doing. Their strength is in their well-entrenched heavy industry base. They should differentiate themselves from the light industries of the South. The Northeast region has to chart its own economic development path.
我们提出振兴东北的时候中国的工业化程度已经和珠三角、长三角刚刚对外开放的时候情况也有很大变化。国内有些争论，就是中国现在工业化到底处在一个什么程度？那么有很多专家提出来呢，现在属于工业化的中期阶段，也就是说呢，是一个突出的一个特点，就是重化工业它的发展呢，速度提高，而重化工业呢，它更加需要有能源、有土地、有水，有资源。那么在这方面呢，东北就有自己的独到的长处。
The SOEs of the Northeast are no pushovers. In contrast with the new private companies of the South, they don't appear as nimble. But that doesn't mean that these SOEs have no more economic value. Many of them are leaders in their own right, responsible for developing market-leading technology. But it's also impossible to restructure all the SOEs. Instead, the central government has identified which are the companies to support and which are the ones to restructure. The solid heavy industrial foundation gives the Northeast a good start for their journey to recovery. However, it does not mean the journey will be smooth sailing. One of the most important obstacles the Northeast has to overcome is the traditional mindset, a legacy of the planned economy model. Both the local governments and their people must be more open and more pro-business. The success of the reforms hinges on their drive to meet the new challenges brought about by the new economic environment. Indeed, the Northeast have by now fully accepted that they have to adopt a new attitude towards work. The iron rice bowl is no longer, but they can earn better things than just rice. Those who are willing and able won't have much difficulty finding jobs in the restructured SOEs. They're a ready talent pool, adept at operating the machine tools and equipment manufacturing. Regardless of their expertise, they can play a role in the new market economy.
As China enters into a new phase of growth, a demand for natural resources, need for innovation, and reliance on heavy industries will never be greater. The Northeastern region, natural resources, and its heavy industry forms the pillars for China's economic growth. Like China in the past, the Northeast region has been enough for a long time. Its abundant human resources and R&D capability can help transform China into a true economic powerhouse. Perhaps being indifferent to this region is no longer an option.